All right, everybody, welcome back to SAFC Fan TV. Sunderland have just lost 1-0 away to Blackpool. Dino, I'll start with you. That was just rubbish, wasn't it?
From start to finish, wasn't it? I mean, I can't even remember what I think our first chance was in the second half. I don't actually remember. I mean, if you count Leadbitter as halfway line effort as a shot on target, I mean, it was just one of them hitting hopes. So if it goes in, it looks great, but if it doesn't, it's just like one of them shots where you can't really count. But it was just awful from start to finish. Like nothing up front. And defensively, yeah, it was one mistake we let down, unfortunately. Like I've praised Lee Birch for a long time, but I kind of defend him after that. It's unless he took the slightest nick, but from the angle we got, it looked like it just went straight through, and it just went straight through his legs. And it's funny enough, Luke Garbutt, who we should have signed this season, scores against us. Unless that goes down as an own goal, I couldn't tell you. But yeah, awful from start to finish. But I mean, playoffs is definite now. If anyone thinks we're still getting top two, I don't know what world they're living in my opinion.
Yeah, Michael, that performance today, just nothing really went right for us, did it?
I'm struggling to find words. I'm struggling to find words about how we've just let it get to this point. It was only like 8 days ago that we were only 2 points off second. Now we've allowed the gap, embarrassingly, we've allowed the gap to get to 8. And yeah, top two, if it wasn't, I said after the Wigan game, top two's gone. But if it wasn't gone before, it definitely is now. And the annoying thing is, if it bothered to win today, we could have, if we'd beaten Hull, we could have maybe made a fight of it. But you know, the only positive I can think of is that we can hopefully start preparing for the playoffs if we finish there. But I'll tell you what, we actually need to watch our back if we're not careful. We're just letting the regular season fizzle out, and that's not what we need going into the playoffs. Not at all.
I mean, to me, the importance of today wasn't really about getting points back on the board to try and climb the table and getting automatics. To me, that was gone anyway. I think the importance of today was more just about building a bit of momentum and gaining a psychological advantage over a team that we probably will come up against in the playoffs. Or at the very least, it's likely to. And building a bit of momentum and getting a bit of confidence back in the team, because after 2 defeats, that's now become 3. To get a run going now in the lead up to the playoffs, you want to be in red hot form for the playoffs. You want to be that team that people are frightened to play. Look at Charlton when they beat us and they went up previously. They went on a great run. They could pinpoint anywhere after that, just think all over the pitch, which is rubbish.
You could look at the fact that Blackpool are the informed team in the league, and we're like kind of on a dip down in form.
I mean, being slightly positive about.
No, I'm not being positive. I'm just stating out a fact. I mean, everyone was worried about Blackpool. I wasn't worried about Blackpool because I didn't think there was nothing to worry about, to be fair. And let's be fair, if it wasn't for a mistake, we would have drew today. I mean, it's fine margins, isn't it? I mean, maybe we play them next week. I mean, next time in like 2 weeks' time, and then make a mistake and we win the game. I mean, this is what I mean. It's fine margins when two teams who are like one's in form and one's not. I think if we're in form and they're in form, I think we beat them. But the fact that was this 3 defeats in a row now, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 in a row. I mean, we're not exactly on red hot form, so if this was a Sunderland team in form, I think we win that game. I do. But the fact is, we've lost a lot of confidence and we're losing momentum. And I feel like Blackpool's played well at the right time, and it's cost us.
Michael, is there any way you can pinpoint a day and say that went wrong specifically?
I've touched on it throughout the live stream. Decision making was awful. Look, I agree on the Burge thing. I think people are quick to have a go at Lee Burge, but people conveniently forget that Burge has actually saved Sunderland quite a few times this season in games. And even then, the bad mistakes happen. Yeah, okay, it shouldn't have happened, but so what? You've got 40 minutes after that to try and do something. And what did we do? Nothing. We didn't do anything to try and positively impact the match. We had maybe a couple of decent-ish chances here and there. McGeady, obviously, the best one we had was when McGeady hit the post not long before we went 1-0 down, funnily enough. So obviously, the cliche is if that goes in, maybe it's a different game. I am disappointed, even despite Blackpool's form, I am disappointed to lose to them because I felt that even in large stretches of the game was there for the taking. And I just felt too many of our players were just sort of found, I wouldn't say found, not trying, but they were found a bit wanting. There was a lack of movement when we were going forward. There was no chemistry. There was no interchanging. There was nothing. I'm like, do these lads realise that they're letting the season fizzle out here? Again, like I said before, every time we had a decent cross, every time we had a position to cross the ball, the cross wouldn't beat the first man, or it wouldn't find who we were aiming for. There was just nothing. It was, and like I said, it was probably one of the dullest games I've watched this season. We had maybe little flashes of half chances here and there, but we didn't really do anything major.
We just spent too long passing the ball between our defence in the first half. Dino, we kept saying it between ourselves. And Mike, you probably were agreeing with us as well. But yeah, we had loads of possession, but it was just right or 9, better or 9, right.
Yeah, there's no point to it if you don't do anything with it, isn't there?
My point exactly, Michael. We're just knocking it between ourselves in the defence. We weren't even trying to build the ball up the pitch, try and get an attack going. Was it down to the midfield not being creative enough? I don't really know. But, I mean, something that really irritated me was in the second half, at half-time, as the second half went on. Surely we had the opportunity there to make some changes and go for it, and we didn't. I mean, I think the first real chance of the game was when, for us anyway, was when, Michael, like you just said, McGeady cut inside on the left, fired a shot across goal, it hit the post. I think then Scowen had like a low-driven shot. It was probably his first shot on target, excluding his diving header from outside the box I think I've ever seen. Normally they just fly out the stadium. But we had so much time and we had so many different people on the bench to come on, but we just left it so late. I mean, Chris Maguire didn't even come on today. Dino, you kind of touching it, saying, is he just there to make the numbers up because of injuries? And do you know what? Maybe he actually is, because what's the point of actually bringing him back into the matchday squad? He would ordinarily be playing for the under-23s yesterday if he's not even going to actually play. And surely a game like that today where nothing's really working for us and we're probably relying on a goal against the run of play, is that not Chris Maguire's forte? Is that not the one thing he at the very least he can do? I mean, Ipswich away, Ipswich home, last season springs to mind. Portsmouth in the semi-final playoff before that springs to mind. In games where we're struggling to create chances and score goals, Chris Maguire's there to pop up and do it. It bugged me again today, the lack of wanting to make a change. But lads, I think we'll leave it there. To be honest, really, we'll let it normally get these a little, talk for a little bit longer. But I just don't think there's much to go on, really. It was just a rubbish game overall. Boring, drab, pathetic, really. And, it was just so gutting that a few games ago we were looking at a scenario where we thought we were going to be pushing into the top 2. But, now it looks as if, well, I mean, we know playoffs is a certain, but we need to look to build momentum. And, another loss on the board just isn't good for our confidence, isn't good for our momentum, isn't good going forward. But for myself, Jack Dodds, from Dino Wellgott and from Michael Bowers, thank you for watching this review. It's not been nice doing it. We hope you've enjoyed it. And some of you have, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back tomorrow for the Sunday Bunch. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.